Have you ever found yourself replaying a 5-minute conversation for 3 hours? The mind has a way of becoming a hall of mirrors, where every thought reflects another worry, until we can't tell what is real and what is just a shadow we've created. Overthinking is the art of creating problems that weren't there to begin with. A mental spinning of wheels that leaves us exhausted, but exactly where we started. The scriptures speak directly to this mental exhaustion, offering us a way to step out of the hall of mirrors and back into the simple light of day. We want to move from the frantic complexity of our thoughts back into the real world, where most things are actually simpler than our minds make them out to be. It's like trying to untangle a ball of yarn that has been played with by a kitten. The more we pull, the tighter the knots seem to get. We need a way to step back, to drop the yarn, and to remember that we don't have to solve the entire mystery of our existence before breakfast. We are looking for a sense of mental quiet that allows us to hear the heartbeat of God beneath the chatter of our own anxieties. In the book of Isaiah, there is a promise that speaks directly to the cluttered mind. In chapter 26, verse 3, it says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." The word "stayed" means to lean heavily or to be braced against something. Imagine a person leaning against a massive, ancient tree. The tree doesn't move. It is solid and deeply rooted, and it can take all of your weight without flinching. When our thoughts are spinning, we are often leaning on our own understanding, which is like leaning on a blade of grass. But the wisdom in Isaiah invites us to shift our weight. We stay our minds on something unmoving. Think of the way a compass needle works. It might quiver and bounce when you move, but if you hold it still, it eventually finds its center and points the way home. Trust is that stillness. It is the decision to stop the mental wandering and focus on the one constant truth, that we are loved and we are not alone. Perfect peace isn't the absence of thoughts. It's having a center that the thoughts can't disturb. This doesn't mean we stop thinking altogether. Our minds are gifts, capable of beautiful creativity and insight. But overthinking is what happens when we take that gift and turn it into a weapon against ourselves. We use our imagination to conjure disasters that haven't happened. We rehearse conversations that will never take place. We build entire futures out of worst-case scenarios and then live in those fictional tragedies as if they were real. The verses about anxiety and overthinking remind us that we have a choice about where we direct our mental energy. We can use our minds to dwell on what is true, or we can use them to torment ourselves with what might never be. Something shifts when we realize that our overthinking is often just an attempt to protect ourselves from being human. We think if we can just anticipate every possible outcome, we won't ever be hurt or surprised. But being human means being vulnerable, and no amount of thinking can change that. When we accept our limitations and trust that God sees what we cannot, we actually find a strange kind of freedom. We are released from the exhausting work of trying to control the uncontrollable. We remember that we are not the ones holding the universe together. That work belongs to someone else. We can finally be present to the life we are actually living instead of the 100 hypothetical lives we are trying to prevent. The Apostle Paul offers a beautiful practice for refocusing the mind in his letter to the Philippians. In chapter 4, beginning at verse 6, he writes, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Paul gives us both a posture and a practice. The posture is prayer, bringing our anxious thoughts directly to God instead of wrestling with them alone. The practice is filtering what we allow our minds to dwell on. He isn't suggesting we ignore reality, but he is giving us a way to sort through it. Think about a window screen in the summertime. It allows the fresh air to come in while keeping the flies and the dust out. Overthinking is like having no screen at all. Every buzzing worry gets inside. Prayer is how we open the window to God, and focusing on what is true and lovely is how we put up the screen. Imagine the process of brewing a cup of tea. You have to let the water steep through the leaves, but you use a strainer to keep the loose bits from ending up in your cup. Our thoughts need that kind of filtering too. We can look at a worried thought and ask, is this true? Is this lovely? And then we can ask the deeper question, is this mine to carry? Or can I bring this to God and leave it there? If it's just debris from our anxiety, we don't have to let it steep into our entire day. This practice of filtering our thoughts is not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It is about refusing to let our imagination run wild in the direction of catastrophe. It is about acknowledging the difference between a real problem that needs our attention and a phantom problem that exists only in the echo chamber of our minds. When we focus on what is actually true, we often find that the situation is more manageable than we thought. When we notice what is lovely, we remember that even in difficult circumstances, there is still beauty to be found, evidence of a presence that hasn't abandoned us. This doesn't fix everything, but it does change the texture of our days. It allows us to carry our burdens without adding the extra weight of 1,000 imagined burdens on top of them. The reality is that we will always have thoughts. Our minds will never be perfectly quiet, but we can learn to be less afraid of the noise. We can recognize the patterns of our overthinking and choose not to follow them down every rabbit hole. We can say, "There's that worry again," without treating it like an emergency. We can notice the thought and then let it pass, like a cloud moving across the sky, trusting that God sees what moves through our inner weather, even when we cannot. The sky doesn't chase the cloud or try to hold on to it. It simply allows the cloud to move through. We can learn to relate to our thoughts in the same way. They come, they go, and we remain, held by something steadier than our shifting moods. There is a profound difference between thinking about a problem and worrying about a problem. Thinking is directional. It moves toward a solution or a deeper understanding. It's what happens when our minds are stayed on God, when we're leaning our full weight on that ancient tree. Worrying is circular. It goes around and around the same track, wearing a groove deeper with every pass. That's what happens when we're leaning on our own understanding, trying to hold up the sky by ourselves. When we catch ourselves in that loop, we can ask, am I thinking or am I worrying? If we are worrying, we can gently redirect ourselves. We can bring it to God in prayer. We can ask, what is one small, concrete thing I can do right now? Often the answer is nothing, and that is okay. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is admit that the problem is not ours to solve in this moment, and that we can set it down for a while and pick it up again later if we need to. Jesus himself spoke to this in the Sermon on the Mount. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, he said, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. He wasn't being flippant about real concerns. He was reminding us that each day comes with its own grace, its own supply of what we need. When we borrow tomorrow's troubles and add them to today's, we're trying to live 2 days at once, and we simply don't have the strength for that. We're also forgetting that tomorrow will bring its own presence of God, its own manna, its own mercy. We don't have to stockpile grace. It comes fresh each morning. As you go about your day, give your mind permission to rest. You don't have to figure everything out today. You don't even have to figure everything out this year. You can trust the process of unfolding, knowing that the truth has a way of making itself known when the noise finally dies down. You can trust that you are being led, even when you can't see 3 steps ahead. May your thoughts become as clear and calm as a mountain lake at dawn. May you find the courage to leave the what-ifs at the door and bring your real concerns to the one who already knows them. May you notice the simple, true things that are right in front of you. May your mind find a sturdy place to rest its weight today. May you be kind to yourself when your thoughts start to race, remembering that you are loved even in your worry. May you sleep tonight in the quiet confidence that you are being led, that tomorrow's grace will be there when tomorrow comes. We are so grateful to have shared this quiet moment with you. If this reflection resonated, perhaps pass it along to someone who might be lost in their own thoughts, as a gentle reminder that they don't have to carry it all alone.